Hey everyone, Joe here to give you a basic tutorial on VoxPro. Now this is going to cover the various uses of VoxPro and be a step-by-step guide on how to operate the VoxPro in our radio studios. So let's get to it. First things first, what exactly is VoxPro? It is a single track recorder and editor typically used for recording and quick editing and playback of clips in both live broadcast control rooms and production studios. The VoxPro console is connected to both the board and a computer running the VoxPro editing software. As I noted, there are two major setups for VoxPro through the board, namely a live studio setup and a production studio setup. In live broadcast control rooms, VoxPro is used to record, edit on the fly, and play back many things, including callers, actualities, news, and weather reports, just to name a few, all while regular programming continues to go over the air. To do this, VoxPro is set up to record the audition output feed on the board, as the program output feed goes over the air to listeners. This allows the desired separate incoming audio to be routed to VoxPro for recording and editing without listeners hearing it. Yet, to record into this live setup of VoxPro, you would take the sources you want to record out of the program output feed and place them into the audition output feed. Then turn on and pot up the sources and start the recording in VoxPro and record the audio you want. You would then pot down and turn off those sources and return those sources to the program output feed. Then place the VoxPro pot in queue. Do not turn on and pot up VoxPro during the editing process. Placing VoxPro in queue allows you to edit your audio in VoxPro, playing it through the queue speakers in the board while continuing to monitor on-air programming in the control room monitor speakers and your headphones. When the audio is edited and ready for live playback, you would take it out of queue. You would place the VoxPro pot into the program output feed. When the time comes during the live broadcast for playback, you would turn the pot on, pot it up, and hit play on the VoxPro to air the content. Now, I do want to note that every live studio and station may be set up differently and may have a different set of steps to record, edit, and air content through VoxPro. Then there is the setup that we have in our studios, the production studio setup, as Harrison here will help demonstrate. VoxPro is set up to record the program output feed of the board. This allows for easier use in production since you don't have to worry about any of that switching of the routing feeds on the board in order to edit or record into VoxPro. So that's how VoxPro is set up in relation to the board, but let's get into how you actually work VoxPro itself. First, you need to log into the VoxPro computer in the studio. Put in your Suffolk username followed by @sccc.e into the username box, and then type your password into the password box, and press enter to log into this computer. When it logs in and loads up, open the VoxPro editing software by double-clicking the VoxPro 7 icon on the desktop. This opens the VoxPro software linked to the VoxPro console in the studio. It will prompt you to log in with a login dialog. For the name, you will click the arrow on the drop-down menu and log in as guest. There is no password, so leave that blank, and simply click Log In to bring you to the full VoxPro screen. To create a new recording, first prepare the source you want to record into VoxPro, be it a clip from the internet via the Adobe Audition pot, a CD, an auxiliary input, a microphone, etc. Turn on and pot up the source that you want to record. When you are officially ready to begin recording, press the record button located in the bottom middle of the VoxPro console and record the audio from your source.
As you all know, there are a lot of ways to show your love. There are the old standards, money, furs, and cars, and the not-so-old standards, tax breaks, ray guns, and carpeted kitchens. But what do these things have to do with love? Cars rust, furs get moth-eaten, and carpet wears out. Be realistic. Show the people you care about. Tell the people you care about to fasten their seatbelts. It's a nice way to say, I love you.
When it has finished playing through in its entirety, you will pot down and turn off the pot to your source and press the stop button on the VoxPro console, located in the bottom middle of the console. This will stop your recording, create a new file, and immediately prompt you to name the new file you have just created. Because we love file structure here, we're going to tell you to name the file with your first name, last initial, the project name, and a small brief identification of what the clip is of. When you have finished naming it, click OK, and this will save the clip to VoxPro. Clips are stored in the list on the bottom half of the screen. This list can be searched using the search bar located on the top right of the clip list, as Harrison demonstrates. Simply typing the name of your clip, which should be your name to start with if you follow a file structure, will limit the results in the box to be the clip you have been working on. To clear your search, simply click the little X located here, and the list will return to the full list of clips stored in VoxPro. Now, you can edit your clip. To do so, turn on and pot up the VoxPro pot on the board. The top half of the VoxPro screen is the track editor. The red line in the middle of that track screen is your cursor. To move your cursor, you use the scrub wheel located on the right side of the VoxPro console. Rotating the scrub wheel clockwise will move the cursor to the right in your track. Rotating the scrub wheel counterclockwise will move the cursor to the left in your track. One of the first pieces of editing you're going to want to do is trim up the beginning of your clip. So to trim the beginning of your clip, you bring the red cursor to the beginning of the audio and press the Mark Left button on the console. Then rotate the scrub wheel clockwise to bring the red cursor to the point you want to begin your audio and press the Mark Right button on the VoxPro console. Then press the Delete button on the VoxPro console located in the upper left, as Harrison demonstrates. This will trim the beginning of the audio. To trim the end, rotate the scrub wheel to bring the red cursor to the end of the audio you want to play back.
It's a nice way to say, I love you.
And press Mark Left. And then rotate the scrub wheel clockwise to bring the red cursor to the end of your audio and press Mark Right. Then once again, press Delete on the console. This will trim the end of the audio. If there is a portion of the audio within your clip that you need to edit out, you can rotate the scrub wheel to bring the red cursor to the start of the portion you wish to edit out and press Mark Left. Then rotate the scrub wheel clockwise to locate the red cursor to the end of the section that you wish to remove and press the Mark Right button, and then once again, press Delete. Now, I want to note that you should pay particular attention to the tonal qualities, breaths, vocal intensity, pacing, and levels of your audio, otherwise the audio edit won't match, which is quite noticeable. When you have completed editing your clip and are ready to play it back through the board, rotate the scrub wheel counterclockwise to move the red cursor to the beginning of the clip. Check that you have turned on and potted up the VoxPro pot on the board. When you are ready to play back the clip, you will hit the play button on the VoxPro console located at the bottom right of the console. This will play your edited clip from beginning to end.
And cars, and the not so old standards. Tax breaks, ray guns, and carpeted kitchens. But what do these things have to do with love? Cars rust, furs get moth-eaten, and carpet wears out. Be realistic. Tell the people you care about to fasten their seatbelt. It makes sense. Safety belts save lives and prevent injuries. Next time you're with people you love or care about, tell them to fasten their seatbelts. They'll know what it means. Safety belts. When you think about it, it's a nice way to say, I love you.
And that's it, the basics of using VoxPro. We've covered how it's used in the industry as well as how to record, edit, and play back audio using VoxPro in this step-by-step guide. Now, I know it's a lot to cover, but don't be afraid to go back and rewatch this tutorial if you need to. It is here to help. And if you need any other assistance with this or any other class or software, you can always check out any of our other tutorials or ask the PAs on duty to help you out.